Late night. I don't know why I like that. I just happen to like it. Welcome everybody. It's the 5 by 5 and my name is David. And this is our late night show. Had planned on doing something different earlier, but kind of seems to be the trend that it didn't happen. But it will work itself out when it's time to work itself out. But so I'll be here. Like I was gonna have a show earlier on Blog Talk Radio, and life happens, and I accept it and move on. That's all you can do. But I hope you guys are doing good. I am doing sorta okay. I've only had like 3 hours of sleep today, so I'm a little tired, and but people won't let me sleep. You know, the question was posed to me today. Um, I worked a double yesterday. I went in at 2:30 ish, and I didn't get off until 7:30 this morning. So what's that? That's 17, 18 hours, something like that. And so I come home, and then you had to do some things, and but I wanted to get in bed at least by 8:30, and then I wanted to sleep at least until 2:30. But I was told that I sleep all day, and I didn't really need to sleep, and so therefore I had to do other stuff, which was really kind of perturbed me. But we do what we must do, and I wasn't I wasn't planning to do that. So when I did actually lay down, I think I maybe collectively received maybe 2.5 hours of sleep. Because it's funny, all night last night I was tired, because normally I don't work those double shifts, especially when it goes into the morning, and especially when I worked all weekend because I worked at midnight every night. And I was like, ugh, and the thing is, I was up for almost 24 hours. I had been up earlier because guys, if you listen to the show, I had to um take my mom to dialysis, and anyway, like I said, I'm tired, but I'm here. And I'm not gonna extend that conversation any further than it needs to be extended. Well, like I said, I hope you guys are doing good. It is so cold, and that's another thing. When I get off work this morning, because it's been crazy cold here in Southwest Indiana, and but I know it's been cold all over. So I'm not naive enough to know that it's just been cold here. I know it's cold all over. I guess we're in some kind of, I don't know, cold spell. Maybe it's ready to turn to the day after tomorrow or something like that. But it's cold, and I think last night the temperature got down to like a -1. And I see somebody on TV, when you can take hot water and throw it up into the air and it doesn't come down as water, that's a problem. So this chick had went outside. She said, "This is some science for you." And she has some hot water and she throws up into the air and it turns into like this steam rain, whatever. It wasn't even rain, like steam cloud. It was cute. I was gonna do it myself, but I wasn't gonna get cold. And anyhow, so I go out and I start my car up, and I wasn't thinking, and I turned on my because there were some little ice crystals on my windshield, and so I automatically turned on the windshield wipers, and one of them broke. I'm like, ugh. Good thing it wasn't rain or anything, but it wasn't. It was on the passenger side, not the driver's side. But I had to get that taken care of, so I wasn't happy about that. And then door, not my door. Well, the door is kind of froze, but I got it open. But the window, I couldn't get my windows down because I smoke in my car. For a long time I never smoked in my car, but I did. I do. But since I got this e-cigarette, which I'll tell you about that maybe, I'll talk about right now. The Markten E-cigarette, I'm actually getting used to it. I don't know if that first initial flavor or the packing or the plastic residue, that doesn't really sound healthy, but it hasn't bothered me as much. I actually have it right here in front of me and I've been using it. So I've used it. When did I get it? When I tell you guys about that, that was either Thursday or Friday of last week or even possibly Saturday night. And it's doing its job. I wish, the thing is, and I think that's the thing with all these other different type of e-cigarettes, the drag, they call it the drag. You know how you inhale and you pull the smoke and the fire or whatever, and the smoke goes into your lungs. I'm not advocating smoking, so don't get me wrong. I'm just telling it like it is. But on these e-cigarettes, like mine supposedly has new technology, and it has four little holes on the bottom of the cartridge, and I don't get that. It seems like I'm really trying to pull it in when, with a regular cigarette and a filter, it's not that hard. And then I've seen other people who I can actually hear them pulling, like it doesn't seem blocked. So I don't know if this is a design style. And I have noticed this particular one, which is actually made or being distributed um heavily in the state of Indiana. The Mark 10 is a lot smaller, so it's almost like the size is of the like the width of it, the roundness of it. I guess that. I'm not even gonna go there. Um, it's round. It's round. Of course, it's round. It's about the same size of roundness of a cigarette, and then the length is about of a short. You know how you get the shorts or the hundreds? It's like a short. So, going forward with that. So here's my thing. I don't know now because, like I was telling you guys, I haven't really kind of logged mentally how many times I've used it. But if I think it's every time I get a little bit of a pang, if I do a couple of puffs on it, it's gone. Because last night when I was at work, I exclusively used it at work, and I didn't have a regular cigarette until I left from work this morning. But we'll see how that works out, and hopefully. Um, it will kind of break me from, it's vaporized nicotine. That's what it is. And so hopefully it will break me from using the actual smoke, which is really not healthy. I want to, so hopefully I'll be able to achieve that in 2014. I said 14. Anyhow, like I said, I hope you guys are doing good. Um, Recently, since the cold weather, and I wasn't even looking for this because I'm not a do-it-yourself kind of person. But I'm gonna say for this one, do not do it yourself. It's cute to let somebody else try or look at, but from what I've seen online, it doesn't seem very safe. And that is the uh, what are these things called? They're the candle flower pot heaters. Um, and the whole thing was really interesting. I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of neat. Um, but when I'm looking around, like, is it that safe? Can it really heat a room? And when we come back, I will share with you first how to make it, and then secondly, tell you the dangers, and then who's somebody who kind of debunked its legitimacy in heating a room. We're gonna take a quick break. We'll be right back. Thanks for joining me. I'm David, and this is the 5 by 5 Late Night.
This podcast is presented by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, safer, healthier people.
This is an important message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Protect yourself against hypothermia and frostbite during cold weather. Wear warm clothing that covers your skin and remove any wet clothing immediately. Limit your time outdoors. Watch for signs of hypothermia and frostbite among elderly adults, babies, people drinking alcohol, and others at risk. Seek immediate medical attention if you suspect someone has hypothermia or frostbite. To learn more, call 1-800-CDC-INFO.
To access the most accurate and relevant health information that affects you, your family, and your community, please visit www.cdc.gov.
There is no other way. There is no other way. You know your circus tent is falling in on itself, on itself. You took the money and a net of safety for yourself, for yourself. Yeah, there's no other way, no other way. We don't need you anymore. Strike it down and dig it up. Yeah, there's a better way, a better way. Find harmony before. Strike it down and give it up. Give it up. The dark night of your sin is closing in on itself, on itself. Your wicked wallet with is growing thin. Blame yourself, yeah, blame yourself. Yeah, there's no other way, no other way. We don't need you anymore. Strike it down and dig it up. Yeah, there's a better way, a better way. Find harmony before. Strike it down and give it up, give it up. Give it up. Give it up. Through your corruption, we lost everything, and your destruction is just there's no other way, no other way. We don't need you anymore. Strike it down and dig it up. Yeah, there is a better way. Find harmony before. Strike it down and give it up. Yeah, there is no other way. We don't need you, don't need you. Strike it down and dig it up. Yeah, there is a better way. Find harmony before. Strike it down and give it up. Start again, give it up. Start again, give it up. Start again, give it up. Start again.
Okay, I'm kind of liking that song. It might be a little bit too rock for me, but that was Give It Up or Start Again. They have two different names for it. Yeah, Give It Up Give It Up Start Again featuring Snowflake, and I think it's an Alex Baroza um, remix. But thank you guys for coming back and joining us here at the 5 by 5 Late Night. We've been talking about a couple different things, e-cigarettes and my progress with it, and also how cold it's been outside, which is extremely cold. And I normally wear jogging pants at night when I'm home and getting ready for bed, and maybe a t-shirt. But I have a sweater on. It's because it's cold, and it's a little chilly. And you don't want the heating bill to be out of control because it can easily be $1,000 this month. But they're gonna get their money, or you really be cold, so you're gonna pay it. And before we went to the break, I was talking about how I've been seeing this do-it-yourself video on how to make these flower pot candles. No, flower pot heaters from with candles. Um, and the whole thing is it's supposed to be like how old school used to be used you was in like school or business somewhere, they had radiators that made these that radiated heat. This is kind of the same premise behind it, to where you use flower pots instead. And what they say you need, and let me tell you guys, I'm not telling you to do this. I'm just reading it and telling you what I've seen and how I thought it was kind of ridiculous. Anyhow, so I am no way saying go home. Well, since it's cold, get your flower pots and put them on top of a candle and burn your house down. I said don't do it because I don't think it's safe. But from what I've seen, you need like a small baking dish, and I've seen some different varieties, candle wise. I will say they said if you do use a baking dish, use one of those. I guess it's like an 8 by 8 square pan instead of like the little not butt pan, the little bread pan, because it's too narrow and it can tip over. I also have seen them using tea lights, which to me I think tea lights would probably be safer, but when I tell you it's really not cost effective. But excuse me, use tea lights. I think that they would be ultimately safer. So the one that I've seen mostly online, there is the pan. Then there's four tea light candles in the center of that pan with a like a small barbecue grilling grate on top of the pan and the lights, and then two flower pots. Now with the flower pots, there's a small one, which I would probably say is about a hand's length long, and then there's a larger one that's probably 2.5 times its size, so they can fit into each other. And then and so you take the first smaller flower pot and you put it over the tea light candles that's under the grate that's in the pan, and you put a piece of aluminum foil. I've seen people use online. I've seen them use these little the washers, the nuts, and everything to kind of bolt that all together. Um, but that doesn't, like, you can do either or, but the kind of really easy man's way to do it is just with aluminum foil on top. So light your candle, put the smaller candle with aluminum foil in the hole, and these are terracotta, unglazed terracotta flower pots, by the way. Put that on top, and that's the first thing you do. Then the second thing you do, and this is actually, they're calling it the radiator. I guess that's what branches the heat out, and there's science behind it. I think it's science you need to do in a completely ain't gonna say that. Do it in a completely concrete building if you don't want to bring your house down. Um, Then the bigger flower pot fits over the smaller one, and then it actually they heat it. They say it gets so hot. The one person that I've seen who was measuring the temperature, it was up to around 200, I think 227 degrees. You can bake at that degrees, so it's very high. But I think that's where his thermostat maxed out because he didn't have a digital one, thermometer. I'm sorry, and so you put it on there, and then the little tea lights heat the smaller flower pot, and then from that heat, it heats up the outside one, and so it radiates the heat out into your room. The only effectiveness, this was first done when they were using um, the for greenhouses in the winter, just to warm, I guess, some of the plants to keep some of that warmth inside that they may have not been getting from the sun to radiate in small areas of the greenhouse. But so now people are using these as little personal heaters in their house, which I would be terrified because candles burn down people's houses every day. And I also read a report that a ton of fires have been started, not by this particular device in particular, but from homemade do-it-yourself heaters. And space heaters are also a cause of fires. But so if you do try this, do a lot of research on it. Because like I said, I've been seeing it everywhere, and I just don't think it's the safest thing in the world. So um, they said that the most effectiveness that you can get from it, 'cause I've seen people use three of the terracotta flower pots. It's most effective when um, you're like 2 to 3 feet away. I think said 2 feet out and 3 feet high is how. But I guess if it does it long enough, it will eventually start warming up the area. But here's the thing, and this is what I got from a guy on YouTube who was kind of debunking all of this. Um, is vegetate. So if you look up vegetate, and he does like a lot of these little experiments, and he grows stuff, and it's really interesting. Um, Go to vegetate and put in flower pot heater, and he says that the cost effectiveness of a average sized room, you would need like 200 of these heaters to raise the temperature 20 degrees. So say for instance your room is 50 and you want to be around at least 70, it's going to take you 200 of these devices, and I think it would end up being like 527 tea lights. Now, the flip side of that coin is I have seen other people use bigger, like votive candles, or even those big Yankee style. Everybody makes a Yankee candle now. Those big Yankee style candles and glasses. I don't know if that would be too hot to break the glass, but I've seen them, and then I've seen one with one of those big candles that have like the three wicks in the center. I've seen that as well, but do your research. I know it's cold. Don't go outside. Bundle, bundle up. Get in bed with your honey, because it'd be a silly way to cause an accident just to try something out. Do it in your garage first and see if it works. Now that would be a good idea actually. If you did it in your garage, that's kind of an open space. Like I don't have a heated garage. If I was a person who worked in the garage, and I wanted to do it in the wintertime, which I don't. That would be something neat to do, but no. Like I said, just be careful and do a lot of research. And that's do it yourself. I'm gonna look up some really interesting do it yourself projects, actually, and I'm gonna bring one to you guys once or twice a week. And maybe while I'm on the air, I will try one out. I just couldn't try out the flower pot heater because, like I said, I didn't want to get burned out. Um, but the thing is, I am not drinking tonight. Not that I'm a drunk or anything by any means. I have some juice in my favorite cup that I did get from my nephew on Christmas. And it's funny because he received a tablet this year for Christmas, and so email pops up on my computer, and it says it's from him. I'm like, what does he want? Because if you are one of my Facebook friends, you see on there where he had sent me an email planning a day out for he and I, and then my niece ended up going, and he wasn't happy about it. But for some reason, he likes Uncle David to himself. That's because I'm spoiling. Anyway, but he sends me an email and telling me that Agents of Shield return. Now, this is for my fanboys out there. Of Shield. Spoiler alert. I'm going to tell some stuff. Agents of Shield did. Agents of Shield did return tonight, and they finally unraveled what everybody's been wondering since the first Avengers movie. The Agent Coulson death. They brought him back for the series. Josh Whedon, the creator of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Dollhouse, Firefly, that guy. He Oh, and he did the last Avengers movie too. They brought Agent Coulson back. Remember, in the movie, he was stabbed by Loki and consequently died. But then we found out he's not dead. But then there was something off. Everybody knew there was something wrong. There was something going on. What is he? There's all the fanboys and all the websites were out there talking about how he was a life model decoy, which from what I gathered tonight, it's kind of, and how they kind of left it open, it's kind of what he is, sort of, because they did say he was dead. He was dead. They did some flashbacks, and he's seen himself. And Samuel L. Jackson had an appearance tonight because he wanted to keep him alive. And there was this thing putting stuff into his brain. There was kind of some blue goo, and so he's Agent Coulson, but he's not. So that whole life model decoy, like all the fanboys were saying at the beginning, it could be right. He's still human to that fact. I don't think he's an android, but they did have a part where his whole brain was hanging out the back. It's kind of gross. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But talking about comic books, because like I said, I have my favorite cup that my nephew, one of those little cups that the straw doesn't come out the top, and it has it's supposed to keep the stuff cooler, which I don't really think it does. Well, this one is of the Justice League. It has Wonder Woman, and I think I had a picture on Instagram. You can follow me on Instagram at One Funny Guy. Yeah, that's a little vain, right? But one FUNNYGUY, One Funny Guy. That's who I am on Instagram. So join me there. I haven't been posting a lot. It's funny because when Instagram came out, I had it early on, and remember when they used to do that? You had one of the best pictures, and I'll put that on the Facebook page, and the Facebook page and the newly named blog, the picture that was that I took in my bathroom when I was living in Atlanta. That's how old Instagram is. I had it 2000, beginning of January 2010, and excuse me, I didn't mean to do that. And I used it, and I took this picture, and I was a little bit more artistic back then. I don't care as much now, but it's like everybody's on Instagram, and that's still the thing, which is good. I think Facebook owns Instagram now, or they partner in some way. But I had this picture of this cup. I think I put it on Instagram. Anyhow, it has all the Super Friends on it, and it's like the Super Friends, not the Justice League. If you kind of know the mythos behind all that. And speaking of that, Wonder Woman. So I don't know if this is true or not, and I haven't decided whether I have a problem with it or I do not have a problem with it. Wonder Woman movie, or debut in the movies, has every fanboy, fangirl, Wonder Woman enthusiast, DC enthusiast on edge. And you have to be careful with comic book fans, even though I know they want to broaden the horizons of comic books, and when you bring it to the screen, you have to adapt it to pull in larger amounts of viewers and movie watchers. I think they were successful. Success. I said successful. Oh, I did say successful. Anyhow, they were successful at that when they did Avengers. I think all the X-Men movies, all but the third one. Well, not, yeah, the third one with the Phoenix. I think they did it smart. It was good. They was able to tap into a market that they weren't in. Of course, Spider-Man had been out, the Batman movies had been out, and I'll go get there in a second. But they weren't really able to uh, capitalize that on some of the DC movies like Green Lantern. Like what happened? Why did it flop? So now, with the success of the Batman movies, the last was there three of them? Yeah, three. The last three, the trilogy that had Christian Bale in it, going forward to Man of Steel, and now 2015, we're going to have um, the the Batman versus Superman deal, and they're going to introduce Wonder Woman. So you remember a few months ago I was telling you that Gail Gadot of the Fast and Furious fame and model and all that kind of good stuff. She's Israeli. She's going to be the new Wonder Woman. And all the screaming and fussing and crying and emails and stuff, it did not stop them or make them change their mind. I guess it didn't work for them. They didn't want Ben Affleck to play Batman, but they also didn't want this chick to play Wonder Woman because of her body type. I wanted Gina Carano to play it because I think she's ultimately the best choice just from her background, from her look. But they want this Gal Gadot to play it, so obviously she tested very well. But from what they're saying, Wonder Woman's not going to have a big part in this movie. It's just going to be almost like a cameo. But here's the scandal. The scandal is they're changing her origin. In the comic books, she went through kind of a change when the introduction of the new 52s, which it has some success, but now she is going and going to be in this Man of Steel deal, and so the origin is going to be she is going to be. Let me read it. BatmanOnFilm.com says this. To be fair, this website who is telling everything has BatmanOnFilm.com is the website that kind of spills all these kind of juicy nuggets for us to get mad about, and they were the first people to say that this Gal Gadot had got the part of Wonder Woman. Well, they're also saying that Wonder Woman in this new movie is going to be a Kryptonian. Now, if you know comic books and you've watched any other Superman movies, you know Superman is from Krypton, so therefore he is a Kryptonian, and that's how he gets his powers because of his Kryptonian physiology. Well, the Amazons would be Kryptonians, and and they will have been like, how in the movie, when the Man of Steel movie, how Superman found the old ship that had been there. That's kind of how it started for like 40,000 years. Um, they were going to be part of the first settlers that came to Earth. They're going to be the Amazons. And I don't know how they're going to work in the Greek mythology. They just may not. They might like, that's too much. We're not going to put this in this movie. Because I think if you do real justice to Wonder Woman, you have to, she's an Amazon. You have to base it how the comic books have interpreted Amazons. You have to base it on Greek mythology because that's where she gets her powers from. Even in the New 52s, she's the daughter of Zeus. But so that's what's going to be her origin. She's going to be a Kryptonian, so that'll explain her powers. But here's the thing: if I don't know if you guys watch many cartoons, I do because I'm a crazy gay fanboy, and I love my heroines. In the animated version of Infinite Crisis, when the Justice League went to a different world to help Lex Luthor out to stop them from destroying the world. Because in the DC universe, and I think in the Marvel universe as well, there's a lot of different Earths. And this one Earth, the villains and superheroes kind of switched roles. The villains were the good guys and superheroes were the bad guys. Where they had a character called Superwoman. So maybe they're going to loosely base it on her, because they never said she was Wonder Woman's counterpart in this Infinite Crisis, because all the little heroes had their counterparts. And she was really strong. She was strong as a Superman, because she could, so as Wonder Woman, in some respects. But they never said she was Amazonian. They never really said, how she got her powers. She was just the Wonder Woman counterpart. So I'm thinking that's kind of how they're going to base Wonder Woman's new origin. If it does turn out that it's true, that's how they're going to base their new origin. And it's going to be off, to me, this is how I'm seeing, off that Superwoman character in Infinite Crisis, that Justice League movie, animated movie. So, I don't know how people are going to take it. I don't like it, because if Wonder Woman's a Kryptonian, that means the other Amazons are Kryptonian. So, maybe they've evolved, and that's what the article said. They evolved, and some of the powers that the Kryptonians had when they came to Earth, they lost. Like Superman has heat vision. I don't want to see Wonder Woman with heat vision. I don't want to see her X-ray vision. I want to see the magic lasso. I want to see her twirling and kicking, but I want her to be strong, and I want her to be a kind of a force of nature like she is. So we will have to see how that turns out. I will give you guys an update as soon as I read something or see something. All right, we're gonna take a little break. I'm gonna have some Jamba Juice, which is not Jamba Juice, and we'll be right back.
I like my red cape. Super. Ooh. Can you please pour me a handle? Now hit the sirens. On the rocks.
Growing up, I was confused, like the cards up over my head. Confused, I tap my fingers and then wind up dead. My mom and dad, they wouldn't listen when I realized I'm a hero and I'm on a mission. Living that life, I'm considered a myth. Rockin' body sober after drinking a fifth. I'm topping man balloons and they're shaking the fist. Pulling bad guys over with the flick of my wrist. Till my rhyme's so hot, MCs are melting. 537 degrees Kelvin, that's 264 degrees Celsius. Don't ask me what the fuck the Fahrenheit equivalent is. But I need a superhero partner. Team up and battle crime like Crest Battle Starter. Now we fight crime while we drop rhymes. Ladies form lines while we say what we say. Superheroes, every city has a real. Like the streets of Gotham City have Batman. We're on the call any time of day. Making mad scientists aching like clay. Last line of defense to stop calamity. When it matters, we're like Holmes and Hannity. Doing that shit you only see in movies. And rocking that after party with groupies. Yo, let me introduce you, man. West my back in the pins. Bad karate skills. I slap the black off the ninjas. You ready?
Yeah.
I'ma pass this shit.
What? And it goes like this. Thursday night hitter, they call me Balboa. Teeth gritting, bitch, tapping back door blower. Master of plays, I got a statue of bronze. You be rolling like Chachi, I'll be fucking like Bond. No, Mrs. C, I wanna eat your pie. The MILF hunter tapped that action last night. Cause I use Coors Light to get it bitch right. 6-pack later, I'll be laying some pipe. I'm really hard, but not made of steel. I asked Ray Riley if my boobies were real. Yeah, I dig that.
What do you do? That's what you mean.
A master of beat.
What's your base for jail?
Superheroes, every city has a real. Like the streets of Gotham City have Batman. We're on the call any time of day. We're making mad scientists aching like clay. Last line of defense to stop calamity. When it matters, we're like Holmes and Hannity. Doing that shit you only see in movies. And rocking that after party with groupies. Yo, criminals be coming out at night like the Wolfman. I'ma make it right cause I am the solution. Cleaning up the town like there was pollution. Cause I know how to fight and I know kung fu. And the heart of the lion and the dragons too. And I got bare arms like the Constitution.
Superheroes, big boots.
Superheroes, every city has a real. Like
Mix it, bring it, now roll it over, baste it. Superheroes, yeah. Superheroes. Shake the cake, shake the cake.
Superheroes, every city has them. Like the streets of Gotham City have Batman. We're on the call any time of day. Naked man, scientists aching like clay. Last line of defense to stop calamity. When it matters, we're like Holmes and Hannity. Doing that shit you only see in movies. And rocking that after party with groupies.
Since we were talking about superheroes, I thought that song would be kind of cool to put out there. Actually, I like that song. I didn't like it at first, but I actually like it now. So we talked about Wonder Woman and Man of Steel and X-Men movies and cigarettes and burning down your house flower pots. But also, which in more kind of in more important news, and I guess it's not too important because I'm not going to pay much time, spend much. I'm so tongue tied, maybe because I'm tired and sleep deprived. I'm not going to spend much time on it anyhow. Evander Holyfield, yeah, where's he been? Well, obviously he's been in the UK filming Big Brother Celebrity UK. So TMZ, I don't know if it was an outtake or how they got it, or if it was on TV, if it was broadcast. I don't know because I don't watch the Big Brother franchise. I don't watch any of those kind of shows like Amazing Race and what's the other? There's another one, Big Brother. And there's another one I can't think of what it is right now. But where they're on the island and they're voting people off, Survivor. I don't watch any of those, and specifically Big Brother, I think it's silly. But people think what I watch is silly, so I guess really doesn't matter. But no, Evander Holyfield's on the show, obviously, but nobody knew. You got to go to UK to get your star credentials back or whatever. He lives in Georgia, and big wrestler. But I kind of think that sometimes you just need to keep your mouth shut, especially if you can pontificate it well, then shut up. And so he's on there talking about how there's a female. I don't know who these people are, and you can go to the 5by5.blogspot.com, the number 5by5.blogspot.com, and you can see a clip of the video from TMZ, and it kind of gets them because it's kind of you really can't hear it. Kind of, you can make out what he's saying, but it's not all that clear. And he's talking about how I guess there's a gay cast member in the house, and he's talking about how that nobody, and the girl's like, well, that's good that he can come out, and he's like, and I don't know what they was really talking about, but they was talking about gay people, and he's like, no, how you gonna be gay, and I'm like, oh, here we go, just another Duck Dynasty Phil Robertson comparison, I guess. And he's saying you can't be gay, and if you're gay, since you choose it, and he was very adamant about saying how gay people choose their lifestyle. I'm a gay man, and whether you believe me or not, I never chose this. I don't care what passage you read in the Bible. I don't care what your personal feelings are, your personal beliefs. If you don't know because it's not you, then you don't have a reference. My reference is I never chose this. I always knew since very early on I wasn't molested. I was spanked a lot, but I did have a psychology professor tell me that if you spank your children on the butt, they'll relate spanking with sex. And I told him he was crazy. But I wasn't abused. I was nurtured. Although I was with my mother a lot, but I was also fishing with my dad a lot too. Um, so there's no that whole nurture nature thing. It doesn't apply. It's nature, all right, because this is how I was born. But I know everybody's not going to feed into that because they think we chose this. I don't think anyone in their right mind would choose something just to go against society, just to make people mad, just to make people uncomfortable, just to be um, denied specific rights so they can fight for it. That's not easy. That's, that doesn't even make sense. And if something doesn't make sense, I always say that then it isn't true. And so, Evander, he says that since you choose it, it's just like having a child that comes out with something wrong with it. You go to the hospital and get it fixed. And so that made me think, and I thought about this for not a while, but I spent some time thinking about how dare you say that, because you just kind of lump everybody who was born with autism, who was born with some kind of congenital um, disorder, some kind of mental retardation. You know, how would you feel if if there was you're saying that about a Down syndrome person, and the Down syndrome adults and children, they're very high functioning. They have that extra chromosome. I think that's what it is. That can't be repaired, Evander. That can't be repaired. So when you saying something that is just like a disorder, then you're kind of making it sound like all disorders are bad and they're all fixable when sometimes they're just not. But there's nothing broken inside a gay person, which I'm sure there's some scientists and religious fanatics that would argue it, that there's something wrong. So he goes on to say that it needs to be fixed, and because nobody made him be gay, they chose it. Like I think he kind of equated to breaking or something. If you turn your hand this way when you're born, and you just go to the doctor and you get it fixed. I mean, if if there was a spokesperson for anti-gay rhetoric, you're not him, Evander. And so so maybe when Mike Tyson bit off part of his ear, maybe something happened. Maybe he got some brain tissue or something. Not, or maybe he's been hit upside the head too many damn times. It's just silly. His son Erwin did come forth today and say that his father is not homophobic. He has a gay uncle. That's just like saying that's just like when white racist people say they have black friends. They'll call you the N word. But oh, I love black people. I have black friends. No, if you use the N word, you don't have any black friends, because my my white friends will never use the N word with me or around me. But it's just kind of silly, and he needs to pay. The thing, Vander, pot kettle black. He lives down in Fayetteville, Georgia, on this big. If you go to the blog, you see the picture on this big estate, and I think on each corner of the state, one of his baby mamas live with her 75 children. Or he has a lot of children down there. So maybe you need to, and I guess he's taking care of all of them. But what kind of example are you setting for your children? You're choosing to have a lot of kids by a lot of different women, and how's that making your child a man? It's just he's going to pattern himself after your poor behavior, of womanizing, obviously. So before you throw them judgments out there, and I know, if you look at the video that I said A&E, I know that they kind of slapped him on the hand and say, we'll put you off the show. And they was actually nothing kind of slapped him. They was really, he was like, oh, I was just thinking it wasn't gonna be taped, and I was just giving my opinion. And he was being real ignorant with it, and I said with it. And so it was all kind of silly for him to even say anything. And I doubt if much more be made of this, unlike the Phil Robinson thing, because you know how that turned out. A&E, they to me they weren't on the side of the gays. They were on the side of the dollar. But I think they're still going to lose in the long run because from what I hear, that the Duck Dynasty family they're looking to get out of the rest of their 2-year contract, and they will be taking their show to another network possibly. I'm sure there's a lot of Christian networks that will sop them up. And I heard a radio show host today. He will remain unnamed, and he said that he keeps on saying it, and that's pretty much what the show was about today. Because I don't talk about show hosts, I don't do that. But he keeps on saying, this is what I'm ready to say about it. Talking about the A&E took away their Phil Robinson's freedom of speech. Stop saying that because it's not true. It's not true. Look up the definition of freedom of speech, and then you'll know that what you're saying A&E did. A&E was trying to take away his platform, but he still was able to say whatever he wanted, just because he couldn't say it on their network. They didn't want him to say it on their network. And that's going to be interesting how the shows will develop now, since they're ready to start filming again for the next season. How that's all going to work into the show. I'm sure the lawyers are writing stuff. Don't say this, don't say that, don't bring this up, and we're not going to discuss that. You know how they do. But so stop saying that his freedom of speech was taken from him, because it wasn't. And just like Big Brother told Evander Holyfield that this was not going to be tolerated, his freedom of speech wasn't being compromised either. So that's all I'm going to say about that. Look at the blog. I wrote a pretty, not a long one, a pretty quick read blog about what happened, and you can look at the video and you can see his estate and his pretty picture there. All right, what else do we have for you guys? Not much. I think we're gonna take another break, and then we're gonna come back. And this was a good one too. I thought I could do it another day, but I'm gonna do it tonight. Have a quiz. Remember the how gay quiz are you? This time we're taking a quiz on, are you addicted to sugar? I'm kind of scared to find out the results. Come back, take the quiz with me, and I know the answer, but it's going to be kind of funny to see what the questions are. We'll be right back.
I never get the flu.
My kids don't need more shots.
I don't have time.
We're all healthy. My asthma's under control.
I'm pregnant. I've had the flu. It's not a big deal.
My kids are too old for flu.
The media is exaggerating.
I can fight it naturally.
No matter how you build your excuses, the flu can blow your house down. Keep your foundation strong. Vaccinate. Learn more at flu.gov.
A message from the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Don't run away from my love. Don't run away from my love. Look at all the time you're wasting with all your hesitating, babe. Hey, hey, hey. Don't be afraid of my love. No, baby, please don't be afraid. The stars have crossed our paths forever.
gonna find another. You're never gonna find a better lover, me. Never find another. Never gonna find another lover, baby, like me. You'll never find one. Yeah, nah, nah, nah.
I like that. That's kind of groovy. I like that. It's I don't know. That's a good kind of smooth song. That was called "Don't You Run" by Old Dog. I don't know what Old Dog means or where that name came from. But anyhow, welcome back. I'm David. This is the 5 by 5 late night, and we're just kind of chit chatting about different stuff that I've seen online in the news today. And welcome Prankville into the chat room. What's going on? Glad you showed. Well, I'm glad you showed up. Glad you're here. Glad you're here. Thank you so much. Not really talking about much tonight, so don't get bored. But no, before we went to break, I was talking about how I was taking this test that's from the doctors. I used to watch the doctors religiously. Travis Stork is really, really hot. And I like the one who's the pediatrician. He's kind of cute too. And, but, for some reason, I guess I'm not up at that time. Before I worked early, I knew when the doctors was going off, I had to get my butt to work because it came on really early in Atlanta. But I think it's on and off before I even get up now. You know, I don't know. But no, I was looking at their website, and they was talking about sugar, and they have a quiz on their website. And if you go to thedoctors.com/sugar_quiz, and I'll have a link for that on the website, you can take this quiz to see if you're addicted to sugar. And this is an excerpt from The Doctor's Diet by Travis Stork, my future husband. It says, I'm not sure if it's because of genetics or just the way we were raised, but it definitely seems that some people are more likely to become addicted to sugar than others. I think that's how it is in my case. How do you rate? Are you someone who wakes up in a sweet after dreaming? That don't even make sense. In a sweat after dreaming of chocolate cream pie? Are you immune to sugar? Can you easily say no thanks to candy, cookies, and desserts? I can't. Or are you, like most people, somewhere in the middle? Take this quiz to find out where you stand. So I'll go real fast. There's only 12 questions. And the first question is, do you eat sweets even when you're not hungry? And it's like very frequently, somewhat frequently, occasionally, never. And so my answer to that would somewhat frequently, but I don't always have sweets. That's my thing. I don't always buy sweets. Normally when I go to work, I have sweets to keep my energy up, but there's other reasons that I keep sweets with me. But I'm a snacker. Unfortunately. That's not true. Prank. That's not why I'm watching. Prank is obviously having the sugar fix or fit as we speak. I have some insulin for you if you need some. I'm not on insulin, but I have some. Number 2, do you go overboard on sweets, eating 3 or more servings of cake, cookies, candy, ice cream, or sweets at one time? I would say occasionally, but it's not all the time. Because now the older that I get, not that I had to watch what I eat because of my figure. It's because of some things don't agree with me like they used to. I don't know why it is. I guess it's just because I'm getting older, but things don't agree with me like they used to, and I get an upset stomach or something. But let's see. So I put occasionally there. When you're eating something sweet, do you continue to consume it even after you start feeling full? Yeah, if I paid for it, that's not true. No, I'm gonna say somewhat frequently because the other day when I was telling you about that, I get that holiday discount candy or discount holiday candy or whatever at the store because it was 75% off, and that bag of M&Ms was like $1.50 or $1.27 or something like that. Um, I didn't eat the whole bag. It took me 3 days to eat that bag, but I knew there was going to be repercussions if I ate the whole bag at one time. But also those little Debbie's, I still have like two of those left. There was five of those, so I'm gonna say somewhat frequently because I don't do it all the time. Number four, this is hilarious. I kind of bust out laughing when I read this the first time. Do you become defensive when friends and family comment about your intake of cookies, candies, cake, and other sweets? Never, because they're not bold enough to ask me about what I'm eating. um, so that's a never. This is a hilarious too. Number five, do you lie to others about your intake of sugary foods? For example, if you eat a bunch of cookies and another family member is wondering why the cookie box is empty, do you fib to cover up the fact that you ate them? No, I ate them. You don't even have to ask. You know who ate them. Don't ask me. That's hilarious. Um, these are kind of funny, and I'm not making fun, but these are kind of funny. Number six, do you experience withdrawal type symptoms, irritability, moodiness, depression, anxiety when you try to give up sweets? Mm, mm, I've never tried to give up sweets, so I guess that would be a never because I've never tried to do it. Number seven, do you have candy and other sweets stashed around the house where others can't find them? And do you eat them when no and do you eat them when no one's What kind of quiz is this? This will beat You won't have a problem with sugar as of this quiz. You will have a problem with self-esteem. Remember that show? There was a show like Food Inc. or it's a show that I used to watch all the time. My best friend and I used to watch it all the time. And there was a girl. She was a heavyset girl. I don't know if it was Super Size Me, and I overeat or something. I can't remember what it was, but she used to have these same kind of feelings because she would go like to McDonald's and she would go inside and she had what she called her fatty tricks. And I'm not making this up. I will find out what this show was because it's on Netflix. She had what she called fatty tricks. And so she would go into like a McDonald's and she would order like a meal and she would sit there and eat it. And she's like, sometimes because she would get as much soft drink as she probably could because you're inside the restaurant. And so she would make sure the person in the drive-through didn't see her while she was eating her food or whatever. And then sometimes she would complain about the food after she had ate half of it, so she would get more in the house, more inside the restaurant. So after she left the restaurant, she would go. She'd wait for, I don't know if she gave a time frame, and then she would go through the drive-through and she would order the same exact meal and like two Happy Meals like she had children, and she wouldn't really wouldn't look at the people, so they wouldn't know that she was up to her fatty tricks. That is no lie. That happens on a television show, and I will find it for you. So like I said, this quiz will make you feel horrible about yourself. I'm gonna stop taking this quiz, probably be able to jump off the top of the house, but I'm not gonna do that because I think it's funny. So number seven, do you have candy and other sweets stashed around the house where others can't find them, and do you eat them when nobody is watching? No. I'm proud in just about everything I do, and I'm not going to try to hide some little Debbie's up under the sink and eat them when nobody's watching. That's not going to happen. My sister actually sent me. I called her to see what she was doing because I wanted some chili because she had made some good chili the other day, and I wanted she had any left because I wanted some. And then I told her, I said, send me some cake balls, and so she sent me some cake balls over here. And that's what I had for my sweet tonight. Cause I purchased her a one of those little cake ball. I said ball. One of those cake ball makers for Christmas. Yeah, that's true. Fatty Tricks, that's true. The Happy Meal, that's true. I seen it on television show. I'll let you know what episode it's on. I'm gonna find it tonight before I go to bed because now I need to know what show it is. But people try to say I have fatty tricks because if something's wrong with my meal, I'm going back to the place if it's not too far, and you're going to give me another meal. Yes, I've ate up just about half the fries and a burger that's about 4 or 5 bites out of it, but it was cold and you give me another one. Anyhow, well, I'm glad I could make you laugh, Prank. You're the funny guy. You're Prankville. um, so seven was never. So number eight, do you feel ashamed, guilty, or angry at yourself when you eat or overeat sugary foods? Sometimes. I'm not going to say never. Occasionally, because I know, I always saying, David, you don't need all that. You need to put some of them cookies and cakes and pies and snacks and Doritos and chips down because that ain't cute. Number nine, do you find yourself thinking about sweets throughout the day and night, counting the minutes until it's time to eat them? This is the worst quiz in the world. Why would you ask people this? This would make them hate themselves. Um, no, I'm not counting down because if I want to go get a Twinkie, I have a car. I will jump in my car and go get one. There's no counting down the minutes that I can get one. Um, Maybe that's why you have to have them stashes hidden around the house so you can just look up on the sofa or the couch and grab you a pizza or a pie or something. So never. That's a never. Number 10. Do you automatically reach for something sweet after finishing a meal? Yes. I'm one of those kind of people. I'm one of those kind of people. Even when I go out to eat, whether it's McDonald's, whether it's what's that one place that has? Oh, there's a place in Atlanta called Chow Baby. They have one of the best chocolate cakes I've ever had. It's like a little molten chocolate cake or something like that. But I'm a dessert person. If I have a nice dinner, or well, when I'm eating dinner, but sometimes I don't have it. It's not that I have to, but I would like to have something sweet. So I always think if I go like to McDonald's and I don't get the cookies because the cookies are really good. And let me tell you, I was at Taco Bell the other day, and um, I was at Taco Bell the other day, and I went inside. Now, normally don't go inside, but there's a reason why I went inside. I can't remember why. And so I go inside, and I'm in. I think I was ordering, and so the little guy says, "That all you want?" And I'm like, "What do you mean that all I want?" I just want because they have a little $5 box, but I know I went to Taco Bell because last time I went there they messed my meal up, they messed my food up, so I went inside this time to glare at them, but and so he wasn't being funny or anything. He just said value. I'm like, yeah. And so sometimes, like I tell people, keep your mouth shut. You don't need to address me because I really don't address me, because I wasn't up to a fatty trick or anything. And so the guy who had already ordered his food that was waiting, he's like, you need to get some. They have these Cinnabon, they have cream cheese and they're real Cinnabon with Cinnabon ice and stuff on them. They look really good. But if he hadn't said anything, I probably would have ordered 2 or 3 of them. But he's going to turn this. It was a white guy. He's going to turn around. He said, you ought to order you some of those Cinnabon cream puff things. I just looked at him. I'm like, I don't want those. And goodness, well, I wanted to order some, but he hadn't said anything. I would have ordered some, but he was expecting the fat boy to order up all the desserts from the Taco Bell, and I wasn't having it. But they have churros that aren't really good, so I don't want those. But anyhow, that was just a sidebar. So number 10, do you automatically reach for something sweet after finishing a meal? Yes, I do because I like dessert. And have you ever seen that movie with Sarah Michelle Gellar in it? And there's a real cute guy. I can't think of his name, but it's called Simply Irresistible. I have a Buffy addiction. And it's called Simply Irresistible, and she makes all this really good food. And I will tell you this too. Years ago, the same eclairs that she made on the episode, I looked up a recipe. This was when my nephew was a baby, and I was babysitting him that day. I had just watched the movie the night before. I pushed him into the dining room because I can see the dining room from the kitchen at the time. But I pushed him in the dining room, and he wasn't even one yet, and he's laying in his was it bassinet or baby? I think it's bassinet, and he's looking at me, and I'm in the kitchen cooking these eclairs, and I will say that I ate them all before anybody came home, or before my sister came in and picked them up, but they were good. wasn't exactly the same, but I worked with it. But So that's a good movie, anyhow. Do you feel panicked? No, like I was saying about, well, that's why I brought up Simply Irresistible, the movie. She says dessert is the main reason for having the meal. So I kind of take that as my eating mantra. Number 11. Number 11. Do you feel panicked or desperate when you don't have something sweet in the house for dessert? I'll say occasionally because I don't get panicked or desperate, but I will say I get mad at myself because I'm like, you was just at the store. You could have picked up a fudge round or what's the little Nutter Butter things or something. So, but I don't panic. So I'm gonna say occasionally. And then last, number 12, do you think you may be addicted to sugar or sweets? Do you think you may be addicted to sugar and sweets? That is, the question is kind of written poorly, but it says very frequently, somewhat frequently, occasionally, never. I know I'm addicted to sweets because I drink a lot of sugary drinks. Almost no water, and that's bad. Although I'm having water tonight and some juice. Okay, so that was 1 to 12, and I'm going to submit my answers. It says this is my prognosis. It says you struggle with sweet eating. Although you are sometimes in control, at other times you are pulled into addictive behavior by your desire for sugar. Click here to order a copy of the I bet all these answers are directed to what you, eating too much sugar. They just want you to order a book. Bye-bye. No. Yeah, so I know I'm addicted to sugar. I know I have a problem. And so maybe now that I know and the doctors have put their stamp of approval on my sugar. No, I guess not approval. What's the word I'm looking for? My educated response, their educated response on how my sugar eating, I'm gonna do something about it. Probably not. Anyhow, we're gonna play one more song for you guys, and then we're gonna come back and wrap up. Thank you guys for listening. I'm David. This is 5x5. We'll be right back.
Exercise is hard. So is maintaining a healthy diet. Of course, neither is half as hard as dying. Sadly, type 2 diabetes, heart disease, and stroke kill nearly 1 million people a year. Even sadder, most of these deaths are preventable with a few lifestyle changes, including regular activity, healthier eating, and not smoking. Talk to your doctor about your risk for type 2 diabetes and heart disease. And if your doctor recommends lifestyle changes or medication, listen. The reason so many die is because not enough are willing to change. You can stop it, starting right now. It's your life. Listen to your doctor. Eat better. Get moving. Visit checkupamerica.org or call 1-800-DIABETES. A message from the American Diabetes Association.
Train
told everybody I was gonna start playing that song when, but just close to the end of the show to tell everybody a good night since it's the 5 by 5 late night. I know, kind of corny, right? Well, I'm glad you guys had some laughs. Frank told me he was laughing so hard he almost passed out. Don't do that because I don't got time for nobody coming after me because you didn't die in my show. I don't got time for that. But thank you guys for for listening tonight. I actually have fun, even though the first part was kind of serious. So please do not. I can't tell nobody what to do, but do not get one of those flower pot heater candle things. Your house will be on the 7 o'clock news, and if it's somebody that I know, I'm gonna tell you I told you so because those things look very dangerous. Even though I said use in your garage, don't let your children, if you ever seen Glozell online, you know who Glozell is. She does all those online YouTube, the YouTube experiments. Like she puts all that candy in her mouth and getting choked. And she did the first one I seen the Glozell. She has that. She goes, where's she going? She goes, how you doing? What's up? Because I won't know. She says stuff like that. She's hilarious. I would love to. You know what? I'm going to send her an email. I would love to have her on the show because she's hilarious. But she does all these crazy experiments on her YouTube channel. You can type in Glozel, Glozell. And you know she black. White girl don't have a name like Glozell, but check her out. And the one I found when I first seen her when she did that's right, the 7 o'clock action news, trust and believe it. She did the ghost pepper thing. Remember when everybody was doing the ghost pepper thing, and so she burned her mouth up because she didn't have any milk or anything. She was drinking water. My thing is, like, they're doing that stuff with. If you guys don't know, I think I've told you this before. I have a choking fear and a choking phobia. When and if I die, well, I'm going to die, but when I die, it'll probably be through some type of suffocation or asphyxiation, something like that, because I have a fear of choking. Well, they're taking, what's that stuff they do with what is it? The cinnamon. Try to see if you can swallow cinnamon. That's not cute. Why would you do that to yourself? I don't get that. And let me tell you, my niece may be listening, so if you're listening, sweetie, I'm just going to use you as an example. I'm not talking about you, but I'm kind of talking about you. About a month ago, it was before Christmas, she was over here was talking, and I seen a spot on her hand. I'm like, girl, what is that? Because I thought she had got the scabies or something. I'm like, girl, what is going on in your hand? And she's like, oh, a YouTube experiment went bad. I'm like, look, don't be doing what the white kids be doing online. No offense to y'all. Don't be doing what they do. But even though Glozell is black, don't be doing what they do online because you will end up dead somewhere. She had did. I guess there is there's a experiment that you do with salt, ice, and water. Or you put salt on your hand, then you take a piece of ice and you put it on top of the salt and see how long you can hold it there. Now, anybody with basic science skills knows that salt brings down the temperature of ice. That's how they make ice cream. And I'm like, girl, why did you do that? It took off the whole 2 or 3 layers of her skin to where now the scar, she lost the pigmentation in her skin right there, shaped like an ice cube. I was like, don't you feel like a fool? Don't do that shit no more. I'm like, why would you do that? That doesn't even make sense to me. And so she's like, I know, I just wanted to try because they did it online. And mind you, she's 22. You're not a child. No, you don't do that kind of stuff because adults can die too. So I'm like, stop doing that stuff you see online because the shit ain't real. That's some stuff that they done made up and tricked you with the cameras and stuff. Stop doing it because it's not real. And then I think she also did the Sprite with the banana. If you eat some bananas and drink Sprite behind it, you throw up. Who wants to do that? I don't get it. Maybe I'm just old, and but I'm not trying any of those things because it doesn't make sense to me. Um, but she's like, I know, I just want to see what happened. Well, now you know. I don't know why you want to see what happens when if you took science in school, you you would have known what was going to happen. But I was on a trend though. Oh, so don't do it yourself. That's why I titled this podcast "Don't Do It Yourself," because leave that stuff alone. It ain't worth it, especially if you go to vegetate on YouTube. That guy says that you would need like 200 of them to bring up the temperature of an average sized room 20 degrees, and about 500 or 600 of those little tea lights. It's not worth it, and it's gonna cost too much. You might as well go on and pay your heating bill. But anyhow, I'm gonna play one more song. I want to play one more song because I wanted to hear this tonight. And I didn't have the opportunity to hear it earlier, but I'll hear it tonight. And did you guys catch the little Soul Ladies, Ladies of Soul or Soul Sister music episode I did earlier? I was jamming, kind of. For about an hour, I was jamming because people wouldn't let me sleep, so that was my only way to zone out. I said, well, I'm doing stuff that I don't want to be doing. I'll play some music and walk around the house and act like that I'm thrilled to be doing what I don't want to be doing. Anyhow, last song. Coming back, wrapping up, and we'll be done for the night.
All right, straight up and down. Girl, you cold-hearted. Let me see your resume. Let's get it started. And you got that super tongue and your ass so fat it's retarded. Pardon, I just won't whip it and poke it. All I need is a swig of the dawkins. Then I'ma dog it off and ballin'. Shit on the offense. Drinkin' whippers with the Daltons. Stealing them softly. Like, bitch, I'm the shit and you knows it. Step out my outfit, pimpin' in motion. Your pussy, I own it. Ain't gotta be mine for me to control it. I'm all in your zone it. Like, what did you want it?
And I had to play that song. I needed to hear that song tonight. Who am I working for? I ask myself that every day because I'm always broke. Anyhow, thank you guys for checking out the 5x5 late night show. I talk too fast. Late night show tonight. I had a lot of fun. Thank you guys for joining me in the chat room and chit-chatting a little bit. And we'll probably be back. I won't be back tomorrow because I have to work. I volunteered to work another third shift again. What's wrong with me? But it's going to be like 50 degrees, 40 something tomorrow, then 50 through the weekend. It's going to rain. But I had to get my windshield wiper fixed. Anyhow, thank you guys. Thank you guys for checking me out tonight. I had a lot of fun. Catch me on Thursday with the fellas from the crew, being myself, Donovan from the Off Limit Show, and Ken from the Ken Boggle Talk Show, as we talk with Seth Fornia, Cold Studio Group model and Go-Go Boy, and we'll see what he's up to and what he's all about. And we'll also talk about one of his favorite subjects, Coven, because Coven returns tomorrow with the lovely talented Stevie Nicks. So tune in. I'll be watching it at work. Tune in to Kevin tomorrow and tune in Thursday to the crew at 9 o'clock on the Crew Show Live. Thank you guys so much. I'm here, we're here, you're here, and we're 5x5. See you next time.
Five by five.